Hello and welcome back to another review, this time of the Catan expansion called Frenemies. I don't know if you would call it an expansion, it's a rather small scenario perhaps, but it's a scenario you can incorporate with any version of Catan, any expansion, and it works well with pretty much all scenarios that we've tried at least. And you can pick this up for next to nothing, I think $10 or so at Amazon. It's a pretty cheap one, and it's fun. It's good. It's very good, and we enjoy it a lot. We don't use it in every game we play, but most. And we have incorporated this into an expansion for Catan World Wonders called World Wonders Revisited. So that's the reason why I wanted to review this for those of you that don't know about this from before. It's not included in any of the official expansions, but it is an official release for Catan. So the way this works is that on your turn, or actually not only on your turn, during the game anyway, you have the chance to gain favor tokens, which you see here. There are 5 different types of favor tokens, and there are 3 different ways you can gain them. So you can either, when you roll a 7 or place the robber, you can choose to place the robber either on the desert or on a tile that where nobody has a settlement or city, and therefore not end up stealing. If you do that, you get to choose, or not choose, but you get to pick a random favor token. You can also, on your turn, offer another player a resource for free. So you're giving a resource away. If you do that and the person accepts, then you can also take a favor token. Keep in mind you can only do that once per turn, and it's only the player whose turn it is that can do it. If the player declines, you can move on to another player and ask that person. As soon as somebody accepts, then you can't do it over again that turn. And the third and most important and beneficial way to gain favor tokens is by connecting or linking your roads with other players' roads. So if you have a road for red player here, if orange player builds a road here and connects to red player's road, the orange player actually gets to pick 3 random favor tokens, and the red player who got connected to gets to pick 1. So that is a very, very good way of gaining favor tokens. And many times when we play, some players focus all their attention on connecting these roads instead of doing other things. That is the only drawback I have with this expansion. So, but I mean, it's a small drawback because I mean, it's a good thing to gain favor tokens. If green player here next turn comes along and connects to both orange and red, green player does not get 6 favor tokens. He still only gets 3, but each of the orange and the red player also gets 1 each. So you're sort of using the trading or the shipping routes to your advantage, but you're also helping out your enemies. That's why it's called Frenemies, right? Now, what can you use these favor tokens for? Well, on your turn, there are 5 different tokens. Okay. First of all, you have trade advantage. So you can trade in 1 of the white tokens to trade in a resource 1-to-1 up to 2 times on your turn. So it doesn't have to be the same resource. You can trade in a wool for a brick. You can trade in a lumber for an ore, for example. But that doesn't carry over, so you have to use it that turn. Otherwise, you don't get the second one if you only use it once. The second token is the blue one, and that simply gives you a resource. I would say that this is probably the weakest out of the 5. Even though it gives you a free resource, most of the other tokens give you more than that. Third is a road. That is probably the best of the 5 because you only trade in 1 favor token and you get 2 resources back, essentially, a road. But it can't be used for any other resource combination, so that's the drawback. So pretty good ability. Next you have to trade in 2 of these orange tokens, the book tokens for a development card. It's pretty good. 1 token values at a resource and a half in this trade. And then you have the last one, which is trading in 2 of these compass needles for 1 victory point. In my mind, that's the best deal, because a victory point is very valuable. Obviously, it's what wins you the game, and trading in 2 of those for 1 victory point is pretty good. But you can't use 1 of these for anything, or 1 of the development card tokens. So you have to get 2 of those. Now, what you also can do on your turn, if you don't use any favor tokens, you can choose to pick 1 from the stock and then throw 1 back immediately. Choose 1 to throw 1 back. You can even put 1 back in the stock that you just pulled if you don't want it. And that's a very good way to cycle through the favor tokens if you're looking for specific ones. What I usually do when I play is that I just save favor tokens, and I exchange 1 each turn and try to get all of them into victory points. And remember, you don't have to use them until the last turn here, especially for victory points. So you can wait and have sort of 10 of these in hand, and then on your last turn you pull out 5 victory points at the end. That's usually pretty predictable because other people can see you have 10 of these in hand, you haven't used them at all. Obviously they're victory points, but anyway, that's one way of using it. Other players like to use them for trade advantage or road building, so there's a lot of versatile uses for these here. Keep in mind that you cannot use favor tokens the turn you get them, so you have to wait a turn before you use them. But you can have as many favor tokens as you want, and you can use as many as you want on your turn as long as you didn't get them that turn. So there isn't much more to that. There isn't anything else to it. Pretty easy to understand, and it works for all scenarios that we played at least. But we don't always incorporate it because sometimes it takes away the element of stealing, because most players choose not to use the robber to steal if there is a favor token waiting. So that aspect of the game is, in my mind, important to have. So some players don't like the fact that you remove that. Other players enjoy it even more because they don't like the whole stealing aspect. So it's a little bit hit or miss whether people enjoy this very much or not. But most players have said that this helps them through the game. They like having the tokens as an additional sort of access to resources or valuables. So I think overall we would give this a 7.5 out of 10. So a pretty good score, but not perfect due to the few drawbacks that I mentioned. So, but if you enjoy this and it seems like something you and your gaming group would enjoy, go ahead and pick it up. We can recommend it highly. So with that being said, if you guys have any questions, feel free to comment or send me a message. Hope you guys find this enjoyable and fun. And that being it, have a good day. Bye-bye.